All right. Hi, everybody. I am here today with Nicolaj Kopernikus. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, almost. It's Nicolaj Kopernikus.
Oh, my apologies.
It's with a J, but don't worry, don't worry.
All right, that's good. And we are here to actually talk about his phenomenal short film. Let me see. It's called I
Yeah,
or
stenophone
Stenophone or
or this stenophone.
it's I had the luxury of being able to watch it recently, and all I have to say is just it's been a while since a short has actually hit me as hard as your film has. And honestly, I gotta know where did you how did you come up with this idea? How did you where did this come from? It felt so unique yet so familiar.
Yeah, but it is very familiar. Actually, it's the whole life I have heard my father's telling me that his father he had a really hard relationships to his father. It was tough because he tries to like he wanted his father to see him, but he never saw him, and he struggled with that problem the whole life. And then for like 6 years ago, I was visiting him in his apartment, and I saw this stone in the window, and I asked him, "What is this stone?" And he said, "Well, it's nothing. It's just foolish. It's nothing." And I actually found out that when he was 12 years old, he came to a camp. He wasn't allowed to get his violin to the camp. And then out of 2,000 stone, he found a C minor scale. And then he played the music on the stones with another stone. And then he came home, and then he actually got into this radio and this radio program. And he got a front page on a little newspaper and had his 15 minutes of fame. And I thought it was such a unique story. And then I decided that I wanted to do a short film about it. And then I would combine it with my father's really bad relationships to his father. And then I would do it as a tribute to my father, because I have the impression that my father the whole life had been struggling with not feeling comfortable being on this earth. And he had so many talent, and he was a talented guy to so many things, but he never had a breakthrough. And that's why I got this idea to make this movie.
The fact that you were able to take this small snippet of your father's life and truly make it into something, I guess the right word to say is visceral. It was so emotionally impactful in ways that I actually wasn't even ready to feel at that point.
Great.
And this I doing a little bit of research, i.e. going on IMDb for like 30 minutes. I found that according to IMDb, this was your first professional short film that you actually had a hand in fully writing. And is that necessarily true? Is that?
Yeah, that's true. It's my first I have directed some TV shows for kids and made 2 seasons of something many years ago, and I have done a lot of some small parts as well. But this is my first work with my own script and my own story, and then I was so happy that I asked my own son to play my father as a 12 years old. And he luckily said yes. So my own son is playing my father when he's 12 years old, and which means that it's like these Russian babushka dolls, that father to son, and that was really. I mean, of course, if you see as an audience see the movie, you won't have this, you won't be able to know that kind of that part of the story. But for me, it's so important. And I had such a really nice working relationship to my son when we did this movie.
It was Lewis. Is that his name? One phenomenal performance. Honestly, what I really loved about your film is that it was very subtle, but every little bit of direction that you gave, it spoke 1,000 words, and all it took was either like a glance, maybe just like a shift in, like, someone's performance. There was so much that, was being told. And one of the themes that I actually really liked was, and look, I thankfully have had a good relationship with my father, but of course there are moments where, I'm doing something and just that little voice in the back of your head, it's just like you hear his voice and you're just kind of like, is this really what I'm like? I like this, but it's whatever. And even he said the same thing for himself. He said sometimes he's doing something and his father's voice is in the back of his head and it stops him from doing something.
Yeah.
And what I really thought was truly impactful was that, your main character, Jorn, is that?
Yeah, Jorn.
He had the support of almost everybody, even the counselor, who at one point was like, wow, this sounds awful, eventually comes back and he's just like, your son has like a real talent. I truly believe there's something special here. And, he had this, like, as a kid, he had the support of his mom, the radio host and his counselor. And as an adult, as like an old man, he had the support of his son. And even those beachgoers, he had the support of all of these people. But all it took was just his father saying, this is stupid. You're gonna fail. You're gonna embarrass yourself, to just kind of stop him from, I guess, doing something that he liked. And it's only when he finally learned to let that voice go that he was able to fully embrace and kind of be a child again. And it was
exactly. Oh, I'm so happy that you understand that, because that's exactly what I wanted to tell.
Oh my goodness. I do have a couple questions, just in terms of the performance, and also in terms of just sound design, like the rocks, like during the scenes where where Jorn is actually playing it. How were you able to get those sounds? Was it actually you like going individually, being like, okay, this rock, okay, that's not gonna work. Okay, this rock, no, it's not gonna work. Like how what was the process like? Because I have to say that sounds really tedious.
Yeah, but the good thing about this is I am happy about that question, because the good thing about it is that it's based on a true story. So when my father died for 2.5 years ago, I found this newspaper and I found the Stones and I found a cassette tape, with music, and I found the radio, actually the radio program where he is playing with the Stones. And then I told the head of the sound department, and I said to him, can we use that sound? And it's exactly the same music he's playing in the radio. The music that comes out of the radio in the film is my father playing in the radio when he's 12 years old.
No kidding.
Yes, so it is for real, and that then we took these stone sounds at the beach when Jørn is discovering the music. Then we took them to another level in a way, made them a little larger than life, so we could understand what was inside him. We have to find out how to get the impression that he's actually filled up with music, and that's why the sounds of the Stones are a little more like, they are probably, of course, larger than life in a way, but the sound, the structure in the sound is based on the original sound from the Stones.
So you had the original audio recording from way like back when he did it on the radio. So
Yeah,
I'm guessing what you're saying is you use that as the basis for how you were going to go about designing the sounds of these rocks. And like in a way, just as you were inspired by your father's story to write this movie, you were like the sound design was inspired by the original radio to actually get an accurate representation using these rocks.
exactly. It's exact this that way I have been working, and also I found out very early in the process that if I should do this movie and I should get the emotions in front of everything. I mean, I wanted to tell an emotional story. Then I found out that every time they have long lines and were speaking a lot, then it took something out of the film, the movie, which means that there is not a lot of word in this movie, and that I had actually one very funny episode with my own son when I was directing him at the beach, and we had such a nice working relationships, because it's not, I mean, if you have a good family relationships and with a lot of love and stuff like that, then it's really a lucky thing that you also have a nice working relationship. And he was so professional, and the way he talked to me was like he talked to a stranger, but he talked to a director, not his father. And then he said once to me, I must say that it's a really, really shitty line you have been writing here. It's so bad. It's, I mean, I can try acting this, but it's impossible for me. But I try, and I said, well, can you at least you can try, and he did, and I could see, and I hear it, and I saw that it's crap. It's bad, and I said, well, can we come up together with something else? And then he said, can I just stand up and walk away and say just a word or something like that? And that's what's in the film. He stands up and walk away, and that works perfect. And that is very important. My lesson learning things about this stuff is that I have learned that it's very important to be open for the creativity and and listening to each other when you're working, and that works very well for me with him as well.
That is truly incredible to hear. I'm really glad that you and your son had a very good working relationship, because, you know, I know that in any other circumstance, your kid, like a kid going up to his dad saying, hey, this is shit. I don't like this. It usually results in a totally different outcome. But the fact that you actually took it as, okay, my actor is telling me that this line doesn't work. Let's try and talk this out. Let's see how we can, let's see how we can come up with something a little bit better. That is exactly truly awe-inspiring to hear. And, I do look forward to see what, Lewis has to coming forward, because no joke, he was truly remarkable in this film.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's really great.
Now hopping forward to Jesper, as that's his name. He plays older.
Yeah.
Okay, for American audiences, he played Mr. White in Casino Royale Inspector. So he's well known in Denmark. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's really well known.
So I'm guessing you have worked with him before. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So how did you pitch this to him?
Well, for many years ago, Jesper and I did a very nice movie called The Bench, where Jesper was playing the main character, and he got a nomination for the European Award, and he was so good in that movie. And I was playing the supporting role, and we had such a nice ping pong in that movie, and we actually became friends afterwards. Because I mean, he's a little bit older than I am, but he's sort of a mentor for me in a way. He all his all his choices he had made during his career is so incredible, and he's really a wonderful guy. And then I came to him like, like a little dog, and I said, well, Jesper, I have this strange idea. I want you to play my dad, since my dad is dead. And Jesper was together with my dad many years ago when I had a big birthday party. So he met my dad. So he knew that he knew how he was in a way, and also the way he is speaking, because my father has so many wonderful skills, but one thing he didn't have, he wasn't able to finish things. Even when he was talking, he stopped himself, like in the middle of a sentence. And Jesper has grabbed that character skills so well. And of course it helps that Jesper have met him in a real person. But I told him about this idea, and he actually said, you can just bring anything to me. I'll do it. You're my friend. I can do it. Yeah, I will do it. And he was so nice. And when I was directing him, he was like, he's my friend, and we are drinking coffee together and walking, take some walks and talk a lot about everything, and especially about movies and TV shows and stuff like that. So, but he was taking my story seriously, and that helps me a lot.
Oh, that's always good to hear, because sometimes from my own personal experience, I've worked with close friends on films, and sometimes like you're buddy away from set, but when you're working together, sometimes it's contentious. Sometimes you butt heads. So the fact that you guys, honestly, it just sounds like overall you had a great working relationship, not just with your actors, but just everyone in general. And honestly, Jesper, his performance, he just has a way. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of story told with just small subtleties throughout the film, and his eyes really just tells everything you need to know about this guy. From the opening scene where he's playing the violin. Hey, what's this? It's nothing. You just see it and you're just like, oh God, there is something there. You can already feel it in his eyes, and it's honestly just such a magnificent performance. You really brought the best out of all of your actors.
Yeah, I think his face is like a landscape. You can look at it for minutes and hours. Just have the camera filming on him, and then you can take a walk in that landscape in a way, if you understand. He is a really incredible actor, not even in Denmark, but not only in Denmark, in all over the world, of course.
In general, yeah. Now, was there any issues that you ran into when making this film? Just like not anything COVID related, but just like in terms of like, did you ever have any doubts? Was maybe there like a scene where you're just like, is this working? I have no idea if this is working, because you did have a scene with your son where he's just like, I don't think this is working as well as it should. Like, did you run into any other sort of problems?
I'm not sure I will call it problems, but I have some doubts about how to. If you do short movies, actually, I think it's a very difficult time slot to do a story inside, if you understand. It's like if you do a whole movie, you can have a lot of scenes to tell, but you have to be very precise when you want to do a film in 20 minutes, having and you want the audience to feel something when they leave the cinema. But my doubts was a little bit about how am I showing how when in the end of the movie, when he find out that, well, fuck the little father sitting on my shoulder, fuck his words about just go away, let me just play, not for anybody else and myself, as he did when he was on the beach when he was 12 years old. And can we do that in 1 minute and show that, well, he got revealed? Can you say that? Revealed? He set himself free.
He was able to be a kid again. He was finally able to relinquish those negative words that his father put in his head so long ago, and he was able to finally set himself free and just have fun.
Yeah, exactly. And that was not as I said, it wasn't a problem, but I had my doubts about what is it am I able to tell that in a very like a minute when he's playing Beethoven. By the way, my father loved Beethoven. He was like he had a lot of pictures on the wall with Beethoven. So when I should decide what kind of classic music is he gonna play on the violin, of course it was Beethoven. And all the decisions I made for this movie, I always ask myself, what will fit into what my father would like. And even if you have the location about the harbor, I mean, we have probably 500 different harbors in Denmark, but I choose the harbor I have. I know that I choose that harbor my father had a big connection to. So that was very easy for me to take decisions when I always ask my heart and what was important for my father.
I don't want this part to make it seem like I'm overstepping, but I would kind of like to know if he was still here, do you think he'd love the film that you made?
I think so. I think so. I think see, the thing is that I was 3 years old when my mom and dad got divorced, so I haven't lived with my father on a daily basis. So he had the exact same way to talk to me as his father talked to him. So when I came with things, he was like, that's not a good idea. No, don't do that. No. And because that was the way he was treated from his father. But I didn't live with him on a daily basis. So I was like, you can't get me. No, I do. I think this is a good idea. And I have a feeling of you can't get me with this. So if I should think about my father's reaction for this movie, he will probably think in the very early stadium. No, what do you call it? In the beginning of the work with this movie, he will probably think, well, that's a bad idea. Don't do that.
At the start of production, you'd go to him and you'd be like, so I'm gonna make this movie that's gonna be like that. It's the Stone story you always told me. He's gonna be like, that is a bad idea.
That's a bad idea. Don't do that. It's never gonna happen. No, it's a bad idea. But I think, I mean, I think he was actually very proud of me, and he had seen all the movies and TV shows I've done, and all the theater plays and stuff like that as an actor. So he was very proud of me, but he thought that it was like, well, isn't that just a crazy idea just to fool around like an actor? But he was proud. And I think that this is a really big tribute to him. I want to, even if he's dead, I want to tell a universal story about how important it is to just be yourself in a way. Be comfortable with yourself and still be a kid and be open and be creative, and then hopefully you can be a person with a lot of musicality.
It's honestly, and for those of you watching, it is truly a remarkable film. And he's off to the side, isn't he?
What?
You're looking off to the side. Is your son off to the side?
No, actually, my daughter just came in. I have two daughters. Sorry, I had two daughters.
Oh no! Oh, that's perfectly fine. You
want to say hello to Molly? Wait, Molly, say hello. Why not?
Hello.
Hello. Oh, it's lovely to meet you. Oh, but,
sorry.
Don't apologize. It's perfectly fine. Honestly, it kind of, that interaction actually just kind of goes with the whole point of this story. It's about, as much as it is about family contention, it's basically the son, like not the father, the actual son of the main character, who's the one who's like, I don't think it's stupid. You should go do it. Go out to the harbor, play. He's the one who he does what the main character's father didn't. And it's honestly, for those of you watching, if you actually get the chance to see this movie, it really is worth your time. And yes, there are subtitles, but disregard the subtitles. It's a good story and it deserves to be seen. Honestly, I'm sorry. I need to gush about it. It really was a truly amazing and emotional experience. And whatever you have next, like coming down the pipeline, I cannot wait to see it, because the quality you presented here, there's no words. It's that good. So
thank you very much.
No problem. And before we end this, I would actually like to know, is there anything that you have coming up, like in terms of writing and directing, or if not currently in development or pre-production, is there an idea that, or maybe a topic that you'd like to, touch upon, or maybe it's something you'd like to make?
Yeah, I mean, for the fact I'm having opening night on a Netflix TV show at the end of this month called The Chosen, in which I am participating as an actor in, and then I'm working as a director on a TV show, and that's a sci-fi thing with about two kids, 10 and 14 years old, and they lose their parents in the first episode, and then they are trying to find out what's wrong, because they can feel that there's a lot more between earth and heaven and earth that you think, and we're hopefully gonna shoot that during the summer. And then I'm pretty open for a lot of new experiences. I have found out with this movie that it's very important for me to work with things that is close to my heart in a way, because it gives me so much energy, and that's important for me for when I'm working. So, and then right now I'm working pretty hard to get this film nominated, and we do a lot of interviews and stuff like that, and we just hope that we can be past the line.
Well, if I could vote, I would definitely cast my vote for this movie, because I am not joking. I know I tend to be hyperbolic, but this is that good, and it deserves all the praise that it gets thrown its way.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm very, very happy about that. Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you for joining me, and be sure to check out oh my goodness.
Stenofoten.
Be sure to check it out. It is well worth your time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.